For nearly 3,000 years, experts offered one simple answer about the Odyssey. It's a lie, a poem, an invention. None of it happened. And they were wrong for nearly 3,000 years. Because every time someone dug in Greek soil, something appeared that shouldn't exist. The exact name of a king. A monster that turned out to be real. And an eclipse hidden within Homer's verses that unfolded minute by minute, just as he recorded it. Today, we open this case. 10 pieces of evidence that the Odyssey was never merely fiction. You're going to question how much of what we call mythology actually occurred. One man rejected that conclusion. Heinrich Schliemann, a German businessman obsessed with Homer since childhood, took a shovel and went to Turkey, to a hill called Hisarlik. Everyone insisted he was wasting his time. He uncovered walls, gates, and fortifications, a city destroyed by war. And beneath it, another. Then another. 9 cities stacked through thousands of years. Modern archaeology finished the work. One of those layers showed signs of catastrophic destruction around 1200 BC, precisely when the Trojan War took place. Experts claimed it never existed. In Homer's account, young Telemachus journeys to Pylos to visit the elderly king Nestor in his residence. Nobody paid any attention. That changed in 1939 when archaeologist Carl Blegan excavated in southwestern Greece. He found exactly that. A palace, throne rooms, stone bathing chambers, warehouses containing thousands of vessels. The ceiling evidence came from clay tablets, hundreds of them written in Linear B script. When translated, the kingdom's name emerged from the soil. Pylos. That same name, that exact location. Homer describes Nestor's helmet as something extraordinary. It was made from boar tusks, carefully cut and stitched onto leather, an object so unusual it seemed entirely invented. Yet archaeologists found them. In Mycenaean graves, dozens of modified tusks, perforated and prepared for attachment to a helmet, identical to Homer's description. Here's what changes everything. This helmet type disappeared centuries before Homer was born. He never could have seen one, impossible. Yet he described it with precision. How? Someone told him, and that person heard it from someone else, passed down through voices, generation to generation. The Odyssey is a human time capsule, a preserved memory of the Bronze Age transmitted through sung verses. Polyphemus the Cyclops, the one-eyed giant who traps Odysseus's men in a cave and consumes them one by one. The poem's most notorious creature, for scientists, the simplest to explain. In Sicily, Crete, and Cyprus, dwarf elephants lived for millennia. When they died, their skulls remained in caves, the same caves where ancient Greeks sought shelter and explored. Only one conclusion fits. A giant with an eye in the center of his face lived here. The monster was essentially a fossil. Odysseus must navigate a strait guarded by 2 horrors, Scylla, the 6-headed monster clinging to the cliff, and Charybdis, a massive whirlpool consuming entire ships 3 times daily. Geographers found the exact location, the Strait of Messina between Sicily and Italy. Know what makes this strait famous even today? Whirlpools. Where opposing ocean currents collide, real vortices form, spinning columns of water capable of dragging ships down. Sailors there have known and feared them for thousands of years. Charybdis wasn't invented to frighten people. It was a genuine navigation hazard. Homer transformed an actual maritime danger into a beast. The danger itself was real. The island of Circe. The sorceress drugs Odysseus's men and changes them into pigs. To save them, Hermes gives him a magical plant, the moly, white flower, black root. Fantasy, seemingly, but pharmacologists see it differently. Circe's potion effects match real plants filled with toxic alkaloids, such as datura. Consider this remarkable plant, the snowdrop, containing galantamine. Circe's sorcery could have been chemistry, 3,000-year-old pharmacology. Described as magic because nobody had another way to explain it, Odysseus leaves Calypso's island on a raft. Homer doesn't simply say he sailed, he provides instructions. Keep the Pleiades on your left, observe the Bear constellation. Always keep the Big Dipper to your left to travel eastward. Astronomers examining these lines expected poetry. They found engineering. The instructions are astronomically correct. Homer didn't randomly scatter stars through the text. He encoded within the poem an actual method of celestial navigation. Hidden inside myth sits a survival manual for the sea. Ithaca, Odysseus' home, the island he fought for during 20 years. Homer describes it with unusual precision. The most western in its group of islands, facing west, low and rocky. Did Homer make an error, or did we choose the wrong island? Some pointed to Peliki, a peninsula of nearby Kephallonia. They proposed that in ancient times it was separated by a sea channel, meaning it was an independent island. The most western, low and rocky, Homer's Ithaca. The obvious problem? There's no channel now, only land. Then geology spoke. Scientists found massive landslides and earthquakes, events capable of filling that channel. The sea possibly withdrew. The evidence vanished. Now we're excavating it. When archaeologists brought Mycenaean civilization to light, they encountered something disturbing. The entire world Homer describes matched. The customs for receiving guests, how they divided spoils. He portrayed it with such accuracy that archaeology continues confirming it. Oral tradition preserved more than adventures. It kept an entire civilization alive. A lost world spoken aloud for centuries until the earth itself confirmed it. And now the evidence that left serious astronomers speechless. Near the end, just before Odysseus slaughters the men attacking his house, a seer named Theoclymenus has a terrible vision. Blood stains the walls, shadows cover those present. He says something impossible to ignore. The sun has vanished from the sky. A dark omen fills everything. For 3,000 years, we read it as pure metaphor, death approaching, until someone asked the forbidden question. What if it wasn't metaphor? What if it described an actual eclipse? Scientists reconstructed the Bronze Age Mediterranean sky. They went back centuries using astronomical models. They searched for a total solar eclipse matching all the poem's other clues, including planetary positions Homer mentions separately. They found it. A total solar eclipse that darkened the Greek islands on April 16, 1178 BC, in bright daylight. The date matches Troy's fall and Odysseus's return. Homer, the sun went out, exactly as the seer said. Think about it. Either it's literature's most brutal coincidence, or a real eclipse witnessed by real people more than 3,000 years ago, trapped in a poem and carried forward, hidden between verses for 30 centuries, now in our hands.